How to write a horrible main character. Number 1, don't give them a clear goal. Just have them figure things out along the way, because nothing tells a great main character like a person that doesn't want anything. Number 2, don't you dare give them any flaws, because humans should be perfect with not a single weakness or flaw that makes them stand out amongst other characters and give the audience something to root for. They better be perfect. Number 3, they should be super strong, because everybody loves a character that doesn't have to work for their power and has everything from the power system from the start because they're super chosen and super special and they deserve everything because they are the main character. Number 4, just make sure they're a copy of your favorite protagonist from your favorite anime or movie. They don't need to be different or have contradictions or new things to make them stand out. They should just be a copy and paste. Number 5, don't give them any strong core values or belief that they stick to and cling to, so that throughout the story these beliefs can be challenged with greater internal conflict and issues with the antagonist. They should just, go with the flow. Number 6, no one should really know who your protagonist is because you have so many characters introduced with the main character that we can't distinguish the main character from the other 10 characters you revealed at the same time. And number 7, follow my account because I'm a storytelling editor. I tell you all the things that you should do and shouldn't do based on what the hits do for free on this very account, and I do it in an interesting way so that storytelling's not boring. So follow me. How to write a horrible main character, part 2. Number 1, never make them change at all. They should be the same person as they were in the beginning as they are in the end. Because everyone likes someone that stays the same, never makes any adjustments or learns anything new. Number 2, give them the biggest plot armor known to man. Every issue they have should be solved because of some miraculous mistake or miraculous savior. This way, everyone can know they're so special because of the MC. The rules don't apply to them. Number 3, never hold your main character accountable. All the mistakes they make, all the bad choices should just result in nothing. They should be able to move on and coast throughout life without any consequences ever. Number 4, make sure they're super OP, super strong, so that the enemies have to be even stronger so your power scaling gets out of whack and makes no sense, and then 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, you're fighting universal threats and the audience doesn't care because the scale is too big. Number 5, make sure their design is super boring and bland, because nothing spells a great MC like just a regular Joe Schmo down the block that could be anybody in the cast. Your main character should definitely not stand out in your cast, ever. And lastly, follow me, because I'm a storytelling editor. I tell you what the hits do so that we can make hits. We can do what the hits do. It's not impossible. They studied the same thing we're talking about right here, so make sure you follow. I'm sharing this information with you for free. I'm also a storytelling editor, so if you would like to pay me to edit your stories, hit me up. I do that kind of stuff. How to write a horrible main character. Number 1, make them a chosen one. The only one who can save the world, but it should totally come out of nowhere and have no real build-up, so that you can bail your character out and make them more important for the plot at the end of the story. Number 2, the rules of the power system don't apply to them because they're the protagonist. So when anything happens and they break the rules, there are no consequences. That way they can live and have the greatest plot armor ever. Number 3, make them a self-insert. They should just be you, not a character that you're writing inspired by you, but literally you. No different core values based on the story, based on the world and the lore, but literally just you with superpowers and much taller and much cooler. Number 4, make them an orphan, only because that's what most protagonists are. Not because of narrative techniques, not because of their history or the theme, simply because they're a young main character, so their parents have to be dead. Last, follow this account. I'm a storytelling editor. I help you write better stories. We have gained over 20,000 followers within the last week because of these videos, because of these tips. I'm helping you write better stories for free. So if you want that information, if you want to improve in your story, whether it's a novel, comic, screenwriting, whatever, manga, you're going to find help doing it here. How to write a horrible female character. Number 1, make sure she only has goals related to a male character or the protagonist, because it's not like she needs her own ideas and goals. Number 2, make sure she's super stereotypical, angry, nagging, and very motherly too. Number 3, write her gender first. That means that you should be using preconceived ideas of who this character should be simply because it's a girl character, right? That's how you write characters, right? Not the ideas and the goals and the emotions first. It should be Number 3, make sure her physical design is her most important part, because audiences don't care about the internal struggles, they don't care about the character's background, their core wound, their family and friend relationships. They want a really cool design, and you know what I mean. Number 4, she has to be the weakest on the group. She can't keep up with everyone else. Of course, this character has to be the weakest, but she'll get strong later. She just will never be as strong as everyone else. That is very important. Number 5, make her totally interested in the male character. Maybe the main character, maybe a rival, and that should really be her only interest. That is the most important part about this character. That's what people will remember. And she should be sort of illogical with this interest because, you know, I guess this is how females are supposed to be. And lastly, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I study the hits and share the information with you so that we can all make better stories. And if you're interested in that, make sure you follow. If you want a storytelling editor, if you want to pay me for my services, hit me up. I would love to help. How to write a horrible female character. Number 1, make her a crybaby. Anything makes her cry. She cries on cue. The smallest thing can happen and she's bursting in tears, begging for the main character to come and save her. Because that's what women do. They just cry all day. Number 2, she better be a part of a love triangle, because if she's a female character, her main and only purpose is to act as a love interest for the main character. So she's a part of a love triangle with the main character and a villain, the main character and a rival, or the main character with somebody else. Number 3, make sure she's like the only female character in the story. There may be another one, but it's probably a much older character, and all the other ones are literally super minor characters and you never really see them ever. So this female character should like totally be the only female around whatsoever. Number 4, she doesn't have a core wound or a backstory. She's kind of just there. We only know about her present life, but her past and her family and her history and her core wound and her traumas, we don't know anything about those things whatsoever. And if we do, it's probably like a singular page or just a panel or a side mention. She totally doesn't get her own arc like the other characters in the main cast. Number 5, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I give you free tips on this account so that you can write better stories and stories that connect with people, well, better. So if you don't want to write a flop, follow me. Also, I'm a storytelling editor. So if you're looking for an editor, please hit me up, contact me. I have clients that I work with that I've met from TikTok, and you could be one of them. So check me out. How to write a horrible black character. Number 1, make sure the character comes from struggle, because all black people come from struggle and have never had anything nice. Number 2, the character has to be based in black culture, because black people can't exist in fantasy settings without tying it to African American culture, right? We can't just be regular fantastical people. Number 3, all of their features have to be super exaggerated in a very 1950s, 1940s kind of way. If you know what I know, then you know what I know. If you know what I'm saying, then you know what I'm saying. Make sure they are super duper exaggerated. Number 4, make sure they have a high top fade, dreads, or the Killmonger hair. There's nothing wrong with these hairstyles, but your black character just has to have them, and we're not accepting anything else in any other way. It can only be these 3. Number 5, be totally afraid to add actual black culture to your black character, which doesn't contradict number 2, but you should be scared to do it because, you know, it's not palatable or marketable. So totally don't add any black culture whatsoever into your story and your character and their world and their background. Don't do it. Number 6, follow me, because I give storytelling advice for free in an interesting, not boring way. And I'm telling you, all these stories do the same stuff, and we just have to decipher them and study them. And I've done a lot of studying so that I can give it to you for free. So make sure you're following. Join me on this journey as we all learn how to tell better stories. Let's write the worst black character ever. Number 1, give them only electricity powers, because all black people need electricity powers. Lightning, electricity, it doesn't matter. You have to give this to them. Electricity powers are not bad in and of themselves, but it's just the fact that black characters are always receiving these abilities that makes them totally unique and different and makes them stand out. Number 2, they only talk in slang, they love hip-hop, R&B, and they're a big basketball fan, because all black people love all the same things. And nothing's wrong with these things, but if you're being super stereotypical, you might as well layer it on thick. So make sure you give them a huge basketball obsession and make sure they only speak in hip-hop slang. Number 3, they're exclusively there for comedic purposes. They don't really have a character arc. They're not growing and changing. They don't have overarching goals throughout the narrative of the story. They're there to be the cool, funky character that the hip-hop music comes on and plays when they walk into the room. Number 4, they come from the inner city because they couldn't possibly be from anywhere else. Even in a fantasy setting, they still come from the slums or the peasant places. Don't get me wrong, black people can be peasant characters. I'm writing one myself. But if every other character comes from a high-rise building with noble families and the only character from the slums is your only black character, well, there's an issue. And lastly, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor, a developmental editor. I edit for clients to help them tell better stories. I also give free tips here on my account, so make sure you follow and engage and all that stuff. How to write a horrible male character. Number 1, make them a pervert. They're only interested in girls because that's all dudes are interested in, right? Especially young boys. They don't have any other interests. Set them as a good example for all the readers and everyone in the story. Number 2, they're all about power and getting stronger, not internal interest, not internal emotional struggles. All they think about is strength, power scaling, and beating the enemy. That's because that's what boys are thinking about for the rest of their lives forever. Number 3, make them dumb, so that there can be no consequences for their actions and they can never be held accountable. Because all male characters have to be stupid, right? This way, when they get into arguments with their friends or make the wrong choice, there's never any real accountability because they're so stupid. Everyone loves a totally dumb male character. Number 4, he has to be a typical chosen one because he's a male main character, and never ever subvert expectations by adding in a twist to his chosen one narrative. Because there's nothing wrong with being a chosen one, to be clear, but he just has to be a typical chosen one with no twist whatsoever. And lastly, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I tell you things to help improve your storytelling writing based on what hit stories do. So if you're trying to make a better story, if you're trying to write a story that gets people interested, gets their heart pumping, makes them sad, excited, happy, or whatever, you can hire me as well as your personal editor. I edit for some people personally, and I also share these things for free here on this account. So follow me and join the ride. How to write a horrible mentor character. Number 1, just make sure they're there for world building. They're super knowledgeable, experienced, and have a high level, and all they do is share information. They're not an actual character with wants, needs, and goals. They're only a teacher. Number 2, they're just all goofy and all talk and playful and chill and laid back, but they don't really do anything to help the character learn the true way that they should live and think. They're just there for ore farming and comedy. Number 3, make sure they're a copy and paste of your favorite mentor or sensei character, and give them the same hair but just slightly different personality. That way, if people like the other mentor, they'll like yours too. Number 4, they never change. They're just the same person as they were in the beginning. They're a plot device to help the protagonist change, but they don't really need to adjust or get new viewpoints or develop new abilities and skills and have emotional development. They are simply there to be an ornament or a monument for the protagonist. And number 5, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I study stories and share the information with you for free on this account so that you can write better stories. So connect with me, follow, and join the community. We've gained almost 20,000 followers within the last week based on these videos because they're helpful, entertaining, and people have good dialogue and conversation in the comments. So make sure you're following. How to write a horrible antagonist. Number 1, make sure they're just evil for evil's sakes. They have no background, no core wound, no goals. They're just a bad person. It's not like they should have motivations and a history that leads them to do what they do, right? Number 2, make sure they have no connection to the main character. No thematic, no plot, no goal connection whatsoever. They just sort of ran into each other and started fighting. These characters, the protagonist and antagonist, totally should not be related in any sort of way ever. Number 3, make sure you hype them up for a long time, and then when you release them, make the hype totally fake. They're a weak character that totally can't challenge the main character, so that the audience can be totally excited about their battle and totally let down at the climax of their fight. Make sure that your antagonist is not strong. Number 5, make sure they never win or succeed at anything, because nothing spells a great antagonist, a great villain, like someone who can't succeed and isn't a serious and competent enemy to the main character. The audience is totally gonna go for that and they're gonna love it. So make sure your antagonist never succeeds. And follow me, I'm a storytelling editor. I edit stories and I share the information with you here for free. So if you want an editor, if you're looking, come to my account because I got tons of videos on that topic. And if you're looking for a personal editor, if you want to hire me for my services, hit me up. And let me know in the comments about a horrible antagonist that you know. How to write a horrible rival character. Never give them a reason for disliking the protagonist. There's no motivation for this character's dislike, and nothing spells a great character like someone without motivation. So if they dislike the character, the protagonist, if they want to be rivals, they do so simply because. Number 2, the rivalry should be one-sided. This rival shouldn't really even care about the protagonist. It's totally one-sided and they are not even paying attention. whatsoever. Number 3, make sure they're not connected to the main story, the main conflict, the internal issues of the story. They're just kind of there to make sure that the main character looks strong. So don't connect them to the main plot of the storyline. Number 4, resolve the rivalry prematurely. Not at the end of the story where tension is building up. Resolve it maybe in the second arc. And that way, the tension can totally be gone. Nothing spells a great story without suspense and tension. Tension that's released way too soon. Those make for great stories that people totally read all the way until the end. Lastly, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I give you free storytelling tips on this account so that you can tell better stories, so that people can read your stories until the end. And if you want to become one of my private clients, contact me through DM, through email, however you need to, so that we can hook something up, so that you can write better stories. That is what I'm here for, to help the indie space write better stories. So let's write better stories. How not to kill your character. Number 1, do it off screen. The audience doesn't need to see what happened in the build-up. I know they love this character, but it doesn't matter. All they need to know is that the character is gone. They'll be okay, trust me. Number 2, make their death pointless. It didn't change anything, there were no consequences, and the world just keeps going the way it always was. Their death was pretty much meaningless, and it should be even more meaningless the more important the character is. Number 3, revive them right away. After they die, just reverse it. It was only for shock value and false suspense anyway, because audiences love false suspense. So make sure you bring that character back as soon as you can. Number 4, keep doing fake deaths. It works every single time, and do it every single arc and as often as you can. The audience loves being faked out, so they'll never believe anything anyway. The more fake deaths you do, the more the audience will love it. And I don't mean kill them and bring them back, I mean pretend like they're dead, but they're really not. And number 5, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I edit stories and I share information for free, the same information that I'm giving to my clients, but a little bit later. So if you want to learn more stuff for free, follow me. And if you would like to become one of my clients that I can help with improve their stories, reach out to me. Hit me up in DMs, let me know, and we can get talking. How to write the worst dialogue. Number 1, make the characters say exactly what they mean. Because in real life, that's exactly how people talk, right? They should say stuff like, I'm hungry, instead of, I could eat an entire house. Never use the rule I made, which is never on the nose unless necessary. Number 2, everybody should sound exactly the same. Characters shouldn't have unique verbal quirks, catchphrases, and quips that identify them based on their emotions, backgrounds, and personality. Everybody must be a copy and paste of all other characters. Number 3, your story shouldn't have unique phrases and catchphrases that are memorable, like pretty much all great manga and stories. Hakuna Matata, Ohana means family, Nakama from One Piece, Comrade from Naruto, etc. Your story totally should not have unique dialogue that's unique to the world, that stands out and means something. Don't ever do that. Lastly, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I share information on this account for free so that you don't have to go looking for it everywhere on how to improve your story based on what the hits do. I'm also a storytelling editor. So if you want a private editor and you want to hire me to do that, want to become one of my clients, hit me up. We can talk about rates and all that stuff. But on this account, you're going to receive information for free anyway. So welcome to the party, welcome to the team. We just gained like 20,000 followers, so it's really exciting. If you don't want to write a flop, we must study the hits and do what they do. And that's what we talk about here. How to write a flop romance. Number 1, the love interest should only exist to be the love interest of the character. They shouldn't have their own goals, personalities, or backgrounds. They're only the love interest, and they're just there to be wanted. That way they're super dynamic and not flat, right? They're super dynamic and really interesting, and we're super invested. Number 2, never make the protagonist and the love interest go through difficult moments together. Don't put them in situations that they can't get out of, because that's not how characters grow closer and how romances develop best in stories and in real life, when two people are locked into the same area or space or situation and can't get out unless they work with each other and talk to each other and get to know each other, right? Number 3, female love interests have to be damsels in distress that need to be rescued. That's pretty much their personality trait. They must be rescued, and that's how they get together with the protagonist. Because that's what women are, people who need to be rescued. And lastly, follow this account. I'm a storytelling editor. I tell you hit story metrics and things that the hits do to write stories that get people moving and talking and falling in love or hating characters. And if you want to know the right ways to do these things in a funny sort of way, follow this account. If you also want to become one of my clients and learn how to tell better stories, also follow. Hit me up. I can help you craft a story that is more entertaining, that catches people's attention and makes them read until the end. We're not trying to make indie stories that are flops. We want to create stories that generate love and interest from the audience. How to write an unoriginal story. Number 1, try to be totally original, because it's not like everything under the sun has already been done and we just can remix it and add our own flavor. Number 2, only read and watch the same type of stuff. Only shonen, only action movies, only romance. Because when you're pulling from the same information, you're totally gonna be super original. And that's not gonna get old. Number 3, focus on world building and power systems, not character emotions and their wants. Because when we focus on powers and abilities, we lack the things that make stories actually stand out and feel brand new, even if they also feel familiar. Number 4, don't try the Frankenstein method, a method that I created to create original stories. You want your plot to be super original and different, but also familiar because everything's been done. Try my storytelling method. You take 2 cliche tropes and then combine them. You ask what if by putting a spin on reality. And then you add 2 unrelated concepts together. And at the end, you create a plot that feels different but also new and interesting. You can get this thing on my Gumroad right now. The link is in my bio. I am Michael, a storytelling editor. I help you tell stories that are interesting based on what the hits do because I study hit stories. So make sure you're following. Use my method. I almost named it the Madlock method, but I was like, you know what, that's a little conceited. So I'm gonna call it the Frankenstein method. Go get it. How to make sure nobody finishes your story. Number 1, make sure you start the story with a long battle that has no emotional stakes, because nothing tells a good story like a fight that we don't care about because we don't know the characters. Release your very first draft, because professionals release their first drafts when they do a story. They don't edit and change things and fix things that they mess up on. They just put it out there because it's important to have things on the internet for people to stare at and leave comments in your comment section. Number 3, make sure we don't know who the protagonist is and that the protagonist doesn't have a clear goal, because nothing tells a hit story like a journey with no direction. Number 4, in your first chapter, reveal like 7, 10, or maybe 18 characters so that we know who to focus on and who to root for and not be confused by all the new names that we don't care about yet. Number 5, give us a long explanation of your power system, because we're all super interested in your power system, and that's why people buy stories. Not the characters, the character journeys, and their emotions. The power system is the reason we like all the stories that we like, because power systems are most important than anything ever in the world of storytelling. Lastly, follow me, because I'm a storytelling editor. I like to dig deep into storytelling research and figure out the things that work for hits and the things that don't, and I share them with you for nothing. So make sure you follow. And don't be a crybaby, because if you're serious about your craft, then you'll take the advice, you'll take the critique, and you will fix things. But if you're not, then you probably are going to flop. How to write the worst power system. Number 1, don't follow your own rules and just bail your main character out anytime they get in a rough state and you don't know what to write to get them out of it. That way, your world is unorganized and you keep your audience on their toes because they never know what to expect. Number 2, explain everything right away. We don't need to find out things as the story goes on. We want all the information immediately as soon as the story starts. So all the interesting stuff is, just there. Number 3, make sure your power system is totally separate from the world building. That way it doesn't interconnect with the politics and the characters' internal struggles and history. It must be something totally separate. Number 4, make sure your rare and super cool forbidden ability is used by pretty much everybody, so it loses its allure and its special nature. And make sure your main character has pretty much every forbidden ability ever. Number 5, make it as complicated as you can, because the audience shouldn't really be able to understand what's going on. They don't need to, you just need to. And the more complicated it is, the more special it is, and the smarter and more intellectual it is. That's what's most important. And number 6, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I give you tips on what the hits do based on what the hits do to help you write better stories, because the indie space needs deeper, stronger critique. Not just everyone can do it. We can all do it if we follow the rules, and I'm sharing the rules with you on this account. So make sure you join the party, okay? How to make your world building suck. Number 1, just explain everything out the gate, because in the first 10 pages, we want tons of lore and exposition, not character emotion and transformation. We only care about the exposition dump. Duh! Number 2, make sure when you introduce a new location, just give them different clothing and names, not different traumas, personalities, and histories. It just needs to be cosmetically different, not internally different. Duh. Number 3, make sure that you remember that the power system and world building are two different things, because the power system shouldn't connect to the world and the way the world functions, laws, the history. They're totally two separate things. You must remember that the power system and world building are separate. Number 4, when something happens in your story and your character moves on to a new location, make sure that there are no consequences. Nothing changes, nobody updates their beliefs or understandings, and the world just kind of goes on like it always did. Number 5, don't introduce any new symbols or interesting motifs that can carry throughout the story and be great for marketing and selling, because the greatest shows don't have special symbols and things that we recognize them by, like Avatar and Naruto and Superman and Harry Potter, right? And lastly, make sure you follow me because I'm a storytelling editor. I tell you what you need to do and not do to write what the hits write, because I study the hits. And all these things can be confirmed, and I share them with you on this account, so make sure you follow. How to write a flop indie story. Number 1, just focus on world building. Who cares about emotional resonance and characters? We want to know about the cool power system and the lore. Number 2, don't worry about preparing and studying and editing. Just put your story out. It's important that it just gets out there, because everything you do has to be seen by the internet. Number 3, structure doesn't matter. You can just pretty much do whatever you want. Pave your own way. It's not like story structure is like thousands of years old, ancient, and gives us the ability to make people read until the end. Number 4, totally ignore your editors and just listen to your friends and your echo chamber. And in that way, you and your group chat can create a hit manga all together, because editing is totally not an important part of storytelling. Number 5, the art is most important, because art is totally the most important part of storytelling. Who cares about the characters and the speed and pacing of the story? Who cares about the narrative techniques? What's most important is that you draw your character looking really cool and aura farming. And lastly, a bonus. Best practices mean nothing. So that means you should open your story with a dream, because nothing spells a great story like false suspense, even though audiences typically don't like false starts or false suspense. But because it works sometimes, I guess this is the best thing to do, even though every single indie author seems to open their stories with dreams and audiences don't care. Yeah, how to write a horrible ending to your story. Number 1, make your main character's choices mean nothing, because everything that they did up until this point should be absolutely worthless. And in this way, the audience will finish the story and be like, I totally did not waste my time, and everything was worth every penny and every second I spent. Number 2, totally forget your theme. Don't sum up the point of the entire story in such a way that the audience knows what the journey was meant to convey to the reader. In this way, everything the character went through will not have this underlining meaning. The audience won't have learned something new. They won't go away with the lesson to change their lives. Totally don't include the theme at the end. Number 3, don't show the main character achieving their goal. The whole emotional trigger that we saw in chapter 1, do not show that achievement. And in fact, don't just not show it, but do a time skip where we see the character achieving what they wanted. Don't show them actually achieving it. Totally cheat the audience out. So if your character wants to be the greatest warrior, and at the end of the story, after they fought all the other greatest warriors, don't show them actually becoming the greatest warrior. Just show them 15 years later enjoying the fruits of being the greatest warrior, because the audience totally won't feel like something is sort of kind of missing because you skipped the part that we got there for. Lastly, follow me. I'm a developmental editor. I edit stories so that your story can be something similar to the hits and people will actually read it. So if you want to become one of my clients, hit me up and we can talk about it. How to write the worst lore for your story. Number 1, explain everything to us right away. Don't save anything for later or for the right perfect time. Explain it right out the gate in the opening pages. You better give us a whole intro of exposition. Number 2, never create that one big event that connects things throughout time. It's not like the biggest stories have one big historical event that things always seem to lead back to, right? No, you should have tons and tons of multiple events and everything should be disjointed. So never make one big event, because that's totally not how to make your world seem cohesive and united. Number 3, the lore of your story doesn't really matter to the protagonist or their history or their goals or their destiny. The lore is totally just a random happenstance thing that just happened in the past. Totally don't connect it to your main character's emotional and internal thoughts and needs. Number 4, don't give us any mysteries. Please don't give us any mysteries. Just explain all your lore in one sitting by one character so that we know everything we need to know in all the context. It doesn't leave us with any thoughts lingering in the back of our minds or questions that need to be answered. No, don't leave us any mysteries or nothing unanswered. And lastly, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I edit stories to help you tell better stories. And I do that for free on this account. Also, if you want to become one of my private clients, you can message me. I edit for people in their comics, novels, manga, all sorts of things. So hit me up. How to write the worst indie story ever. Number 1, make sure you have no theme whatsoever, because stories don't need a narrative that weaves itself throughout the story from beginning to end, giving the audience a message. Your story better not have a theme. Number 2, start your story with a dream sequence that gives a glimpse into the future that we don't care about, and make sure it better not tell us who the character is, what their personality, wants, likes, or dislikes are, because the introduction of a story is not the most important part of the start of a narrative. Number 3, explain the full power system in the first chapter. Tell us everything we need to know and give us multiple pages of power system and world building before we get into what the characters are about and what they want, because audiences care way more about power systems than they care about people. Number 4, never give your character a clear, recognizable goal that they're reaching after, and you better not give us a clear road of progression to how they can accomplish that goal. Better not give them a clear goal. That is taboo in the indie space. Number 5, don't create a strong villain with motivations, with goals that mean something. They better just be evil for evil's sake, because characters totally don't need motivations, they totally don't need goals, they totally don't need reasons for why they're doing things, even if the reason is just having fun. Lastly, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I give you free tips on here on how to tell good stories, so hit that button. And if you want to become one of my clients, let me know. I'm available. Keep this in mind if you want horrible world building. Number 1, don't research anything. Introduce samurai and knights and Vikings, but don't research what those cultures and things actually do, because it doesn't really matter. Things just run off of fantasy, right? Number 2, make sure everything's cliche. Elves live in the forest, pirates are at sea, tribal people are in the desert. There's nothing wrong with these things, but don't mix it up at all. Keep everything the way it always is in fantasy stories, and it better be super cliche. Number 3, the world only exists around and for your main character. The politics of the world events, there's not any consequences for everyone else. Things only really happen for and around your protagonist. Number 4, explain everything. We need to know all the details, especially immediately. Don't lead us in slowly and give us interest by dropping small clues. No, you better tell us how everything works straight out the gate as soon as something shows up. Number 5, never research geography whatsoever. You don't need to know where land goes, when the sea stops, how deserts work, or anything like that. Not even just the basic information. Your map should be totally random with no context and no geographical knowledge. And lastly, follow me. I'm a storytelling editor. I research stories and tell the information to you for free because I want us all to write better stories. So if you're interested in writing a better story, you should be following. If you want an editor, editing is very important in storytelling. I'm a storytelling editor, so I can help you. So contact me, become one of my clients, and let's write better stories. How to make someone hate your character. Why do some people hate Sakura but love Nami? Both of them hit the main character and have tempers. They're both female characters. Nami tried to sell Luffy out for money, and Sakura made fun of Naruto being an orphan. So it's not like these characters are perfect, but there's one thing that sets them apart, and it is totally overrated in indie storytelling. And when you know this thing, once you learn it, it will change the way you're going to make your main character and all of your characters. And it will either make people love your character or hate them. Because characters are the reason why people engage in stories. It's the reason why we buy the shirts, that we change our profile pictures, that we become huge fans of stories. It's because of the characters. So writing a well-written character takes diligence and work, intricacy, and yet it's not even that hard. It's pretty easy. It's all about the core wound. A core wound is a past trauma of a character. It doesn't have to be major and huge, and it doesn't have to be small, but it needs to be the reason why they behave the way they behave. Let's say you found out somebody walked down the street yelling and cursing at people. You would say that person is very rude and weird. But then what if you found out that they just lost their parents and their child in a car accident? Then suddenly you begin to understand and sympathize with this person, right? Characters are the same. When we find out and understand their backstories and their traumas and their experiences, we sympathize with them when they do things that may not be the best. Nami's tragic backstory explains her obsession with money, explains her behavior, and gives us a reason to justify when she does things that are a little unsavory. Sakura, on the other hand, doesn't have a justifiable reason for the way she behaved, and so people typically don't like her. Now, mind you, Sakura's fan base is massive. She was number 3 in the international polls of the most popular characters. So I'm not saying people always don't like her, but she gets a lot of slack for this reason. I'm a huge Sakura fan, but we have to talk about these stories analytically and judge them fairly. So give your characters justifiable traumas or backstories to justify their behavior. How to write an amazing main character. Number 1, give them a memorable name that stands out so that they're just not a regular Joe Schmo down the block. A name is super important to how audiences recognize and remember your character. Number 2, make sure they have issues. Nobody likes a super perfect Marisu that can solve anything and do anything. Characters with issues make the audience care about them, makes the audience root for them, and allows us to see their growth throughout the story. Number 3, give them a side cast that challenges them and forces them to learn and do things that they normally would not. If the main character can do everything by themselves, then the side cast has less purpose. So the supporting cast needs to be strong enough to uplift and challenge the protagonist. Number 4, your main character is the theme of your story, so they should embody the theme of the story. Luffy embodies freedom. Aang embodies balance. Naruto embodies connection. Your main character needs to embody what your story is about. Number 5, follow this account. I'm a storytelling editor. I give you tips on how to tell stories and what the hits do to do things successfully. So if you want to know what the hits are doing, I'm going to give you that information here on this account for free. So make sure you follow. Unless, of course, you want to make a flop story like most indie creators do. I don't, you don't, so let's connect, okay? Follow.